By now, everybody knows how this works. Take it means yes. Leaf it pretty much means no. Take it or leaf it. The Leafs will win the Atlantic Division this season, Rosie.
Leaf that shit. No, I don't think they will. It's a deep, tough, dirty division. If they get so hot, they're rattling off that many and they win the division, great. But I think, like we just talked about, with the bit of a yo-yo effect and getting accustomed to the new style of play that they're being demanded to play, I think there's going to be a couple growing pains like there was on Tuesday. Maybe I'm wrong, and they can adapt this style of play quicker than I think, and they'll go on and rattle it off. But I just say leaf it because I don't really care, and I think they've got, they're not really going to be watching the standings. They're going to be focusing on themselves and their new way of playing.
I will say take it. The Toronto Maple Leafs, in my money, pound for pound, the best team in the Atlantic Division right now. I don't think Florida gives a rip about winning this division. They won the Stanley Cup last year. They're just focused on making the Stanley Cup playoffs. Same can be said for Tampa, and ultimately that leads us to the Boston Bruins, who I think are the team we expected them to be last year. This year, they've had a pretty slow start. A lot of question marks surrounding Brad Marchand. Had like 3 different surgeries in the offseason. The goaltending hasn't been as good. If there ever was an opportunity for the Maple Leafs to win this division, it is this season, and I'm going to take it, Rosie.
Hey, I like it. I like it. I just still get scared about Florida. Just whatever, let them have it, and let's just focus on us. Regular season, as we have said before, doesn't mean the end all be all, and just be ready for playoffs, man. Would you want to take the Boston Bruins in round 1 for a little rematch?
I've said this time and time again. I don't care who they play. I've seen them lose to Columbus, Montreal, Boston, Tampa. The list goes on. I don't care. Just give me a team. They'll beat anybody. The Maple Leafs are good enough to beat anybody on any given night, and that's how I feel.
It's true. I like it.
Sorry
Let's
for the
see it.
cop-out answer, but that's how I feel.
That's all right. I don't
I don't
mind
care if it's Boston. Okay, number 2. Oliver Ekman-Larsson will log the most minutes this season of any Toronto Blue Liner. Take it or leaf it.
I mean, all signs point to take it so far. He's versatile, right? He's playing physical. He can help out the power play and be a force there. He can be shut down, play those big minutes. With Morgan Riley, if he emerges in their play, I just see him just being the top dog. And Tanev could be up there too, but I just think minutes wise, after a 60 minutes, OEL could be the guy that rises to the top. So I'll take it.
You know what's so crazy is like when they signed OEL, we were talking about a 5-6 pairing with OEL on it, and all of a sudden we're talking about this guy being the number 1 defenseman.
I know, man. It was like people were saying, yeah, 5-6, and oh, what's he gonna have? And oh, is he gonna be a liability? We're talking about pairings, and if he plays with this guy or that guy, oh well, he might bring him down. It's like and maybe I wasn't watching OEL throughout the last few years of his career all that closely, and I missed some things, but I was just like, what am I missing? This guy's, a legit defenseman. He's large. He can move the puck. He has power play capabilities. He has a physical edge to him that he can administer with being the size that he is. I'm like, what am I missing here? Why is everyone poo-pooing OEL and that contract? Like, who, if you pass on OEL, well, then who are you going to get, man? It's like people just want this perfect storm where they just hand pick at the candy store everyone they want on their team. Like, when has it ever worked like that? He was available. It made sense. The contract made sense. I was like, let's roll with this guy. Like, I'm excited. It's better than not signing anybody. And people poo-pooed it, but lo and behold, I think even the most optimistic person, he has passed their expectations.
Oh, certainly. I'm still going to go with leaf it. I think Morgan Riley is the number 1 defenseman on this Maple Leaf squad. I think they're easing a guy like Chris Tanev back in, but I think when push comes to shove over an 82-game slate and beyond for that matter, I think you got to lean on your big dogs. And I think they brought in Ekman-Larsson to support said big dog, or one big dog, I guess, in Morgan Riley. And I think at the end of the day, it'll be Morgan Riley who logs the most minutes on the back end for Toronto's Blue Liner. But you're so right. OEL has been fantastic early on.
Do you think Morgan Riley is the best defenseman of the season to this point?
No.
Yeah, no.
No, it's OEL. I think by far, but I just think you have to be careful. I mean, you brought in Ekman-Larsson to be a guy to support, not to be the guy. And I think what makes him so good is that you don't expect too much from him, and he's exceeding expectations right now. But the moment you put that pressure back on, I think it could be not a struggle, but I think it's going to be difficult.
I hear
So
you.
I think Riley's the guy still. I think people are giving him heat, but I think he's been good this year.
And that happens in Toronto. Like, I can't stand it when a guy will have like a career year in Carolina, and then they sign him as a free agent, and he comes here, and it's like the big signing, the media, the expectations, and then everyone's like, and then he doesn't have, like, let's say, as good of a year, and everyone's like, what the hell is this bust? Like, he had the career year, and then you want to bring him to Toronto and even exceed that career year in Toronto with all this buzz. It's not easy to do, and the expectations are difficult. So I don't mind that strategy where you brought him here to do something. Sure, he's played better, but don't raise that bar and now say, okay, OEL, now we expect you to be our number one all season long. That's a good way to kind of crack a guy, right? So I get where you're going with that strategy.
William Nylander will hit the 100-point plateau for the first time in his career. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it, man. He's in his prime. He's hot. He's got that contract, and I don't think he is the type of guy to be like, oh, good, I can shut it down for a couple of years here. I know he's had kind of a rougher reputation in years past, but I think that's kind of behind him. His compete level is high. He wants to be the dude. He loves getting points, scoring goals. He loves dominating. He's a very confident player right now, as he should be, and I think he'll get to that 100-point plateau.
I love how we disagreed on all three with these, and that's fine. I'm going with Leaf It. I think 100 points, that plateau is difficult to get to. He had his best year ever last year in a contract year, and he still didn't get there. If you recall, signs the contract, fell off a cliff a bit. I think the level of consistency, Rosie, you need to find to get to the 100-point plateau is difficult, and that's why there's a select amount of players that can do it on a yearly basis. So I'm going to say Leaf It.
Hey, there you go. It's all right to disagree. I just have this feeling this team's going to start buzzing and rolling, and around that Christmas time and just after, I think they're going to, be able to just press the button and come out of the gate. And because of Craig Berube and his expectations, they're going to be playing a system that allows them to have a lot of success. And I think that Willie could just be leading the way on that train.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.